I'll introduce you first. How about that? We are at Fenris. Did I say that right?
Exactly.
With my okay, good, because it's different language. And so we're at Fenris Gym in Berlin, Germany, and we're here with Felipe Cançado. Hey, thanks for taking your time.
Thanks for having
and
me.
doing this for us. For many of you that don't know, Felipe helped out and was attended and these kinds of things to the other Berlin tournament when we came pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So we've been running tournaments since COVID, but we haven't been back to Berlin. It's great to see you. Great to see the football field that you added in the other room. But Felipe, you got a bunch of accolades. You seem to be a really good competitor, and like you've got European titles and these types of things too. And so, in your second degree black
Yeah,
belt?
that's true.
Yep, under Robin Gracie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And for a lot of the Americans out there, they haven't heard of Robin as much, but they haven't heard of Robin as much because of the Gracies that are in America, right? And
Yes.
and I'm like, man, there's a big affiliation in Europe when it comes to Robin. And I think I originally met you probably through Antonio, yeah? Antonio,
I think so. Yes.
from Ostend.
That's true. Yeah.
And that was where I originally got introduced to it. He's been a super awesome guy. But so we're back, man, and we're here. So let's hear your story. How'd you get started? And we're in Berlin, and you're a Brazilian. So how'd you get started in the martial arts and jiu-jitsu? Walk us through your story.
Right. So first of all, really nice to have you guys here again. Right. It's been a long time, but good to see that things worked out. So actually, I started very young in jiu-jitsu. I was bad at any other sports, and so I couldn't play football or soccer, as you guys call it, which in Brazil is a pretty big deal. So the next best thing would be martial arts, jiu-jitsu. And so then I started as I was 11. And I stopped for a while. Then I got really, really fat. So I had to start sports again. So I thought jiu-jitsu, this was what I was good at. And then as I came back, as I was 20, then it became my thing. And then I really dedicated to that. And yeah, haven't been stopping training ever since. Then I got my black belt actually from Holker Gracie.
Oh, okay.
Was training under him at the time. And so then it was an opportunity to move here to Berlin. At the time, as I was in Rio, I was training, but mostly just because, it was my passion. But my main job was actually law. I was a lawyer as I was in Brazil. And I was really not happy with that career. So I had the opportunity to move here to Germany. And I figured, let's try something new. And we're still young to...
So they offered you, they said, hey, move to Berlin, teach jiu-jitsu every day, and you got an opportunity there?
Not really. Actually, so what happened was my wife got a job here. I had some money saved from my lawyer times.
And wife is Brazilian too?
Wife is Brazilian.
Not German? Okay,
yes.
Cool.
And so we moved here, and I started knocking on Jim's door. Say, hey, I'm good at this. I could try something here. And I reached Fenris. Back then, we were a small gym on the second floor of the same building. And then I offered them, look, we could start a team here. I could be a full-time coach. They asked me, actually, they invited me to a random open mat they would have in the end of the week to see if I was any good. So I came here and
had to go mollywop some people to show you were good.
And then they're like, hey, you actually know your stuff. So yeah, then we started in 2016 with the jiu-jitsu classes. Back then it was just like 4 classes a week. Now, for example, today we have 7 just today. Right, so we started growing a lot, and now we have a big team. The gym has grown a lot. We've been here in 2018. I think, more than double the size.
Was it 18 already? Dang, that goes fast.
Right.
I noticed that you speak English in your teaching.
Yeah.
And I've been to most of the main big cities in Germany, but I feel like here in Köln is very international.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that you speak English. Like walking in, I saw a guy from Australia, and then I saw a dude from England, and there's a dude from Portugal, and you know, like it just constantly. And you said there was another Brazilian over there. We were pointing out different people.
Yeah.
It seemed like a super multicultural area in Berlin.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Berlin is a city with a lot of people from other countries, right? And in the beginning, I was teaching both languages. I was doing in German and I was also doing in English. The issue is that I had a lot more people who could understand English than German. You know, because like the German people, they could all understand, obviously German, but half of the class were from people from other places. So I was seeing myself not, I wouldn't say wasting time, but taking a lot of the time of the class doing both languages.
Yeah.
Everyone basically could speak English, so I talked to everyone like, look, I'm going to do this in English. It's fine. If I approach, I don't know, two people doing positions and they're both Germans, then I talk German to them. I have no issue. Privates are doing German. That's fine. But if I'm doing a big class with a lot of people from all over the world, I prefer to do in English, and then it's everybody okay.
Did you learn any German before you moved here, or you just totally immersed when you came here?
No, I just came here. So since I was knocking on Jim's door, yeah, I didn't even have enough German to Google the gyms, you know? So I was going to random gyms that obviously would never be interested in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So I figured, okay, I'm going to take this first 6 months to learn German. And I did an intensive course and I could learn good German. And this, I started in November doing this. And then in April, now I could actually speak some German, talk to people. And then in April, I started teaching here at this gym.
Nice. Nice. And it's gone up and up and up. It looks like you guys have a good MMA, kickboxing. I was watching other classes go on, and a lot going on. When I travel around Europe, the majority of the gyms that I go to, the coaches do it after their job. They work a 9 to 5, and then I give not just them, but I give a ton of respect for those people because they do it for the love of the game. A lot of these people, you know, they're working real hard all day and then they have the class at night. Do you guys have kids here?
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the schools I noticed won't have a kids program because the coach is working. He doesn't have the time to rent out a sport hall or the extra, you know. And so I noticed some of the difference in throughout Europe and compared to the United States and Brazil. You know how it is in Brazil since you're Brazilian. And the kids programs are a lot different. Mm-hmm. You know, and that was one of my big missions with AGF is, like I was talking earlier, we have like 60% at least our tournaments are kids, and we really believe in the kids. And I actually had a conversation with this in an interview. And I said, the Brazilians have a way that they train kids, and the culture of Brazilians really love on their kids a lot, you know, and they do it differently than the Americans, but they still make world champions and they have large kids programs. Yes. And in America, can still make champions and have large kid programs. And I feel like Europe is struggling in general behind both of those countries when it comes to the kids programs. And I've lowered it down to 20 euros for kids, right? $10 for an edit. What do you think that not just AGF, but jiu-jitsu can do? What do you think us people responsible for tournaments can do to help push the kids programs more?
Here in Europe, yeah. Actually, so this is something that I also struggled here in the beginning. Because the issue is here in Europe, aside from places like Portugal and Spain, jiu-jitsu is not known as it is in US or in Brazil. So I don't think it's actually on the parents' minds to actually put kids to train jiu-jitsu and martial arts. I don't think they see as necessary as we see in Brazil, as we see in the US. I mean, in the US, there's a really big culture of sports right from young age. Yeah. So, for example, wrestling is also a big thing. So I think this transition was a little bit easier.
Similar to judo and jiu-jitsu in Brazil, yeah.
Exactly. And here, I don't see that happening so much. Right? For example, I dealt with a lot of beginners here in basics classes for adults, and they had no coordination whatsoever. So people that have never had contact with sports. So I think that this is actually, it is a bigger topic than just focusing on jiu-jitsu, but sports in general. Right? I don't think that there is this big of culture of kids playing sports so much here in at least in Germany, which I can say with a little bit more experience. So yeah, but right now, as it is, we're starting to have more kids with us. The program has improved a lot. I was actually forced, right? The team grew, so now we have 3 different age groups.
Nice.
In every class, so we have for each age group is with at least 2 coaches, so the
Nice.
kids are well handled, and we have everyone having their attention, and we started having also a lot more kids tournaments here in Germany than we used to have. But yeah, it is still a struggle. It's still a working process. Where in Brazil, I think this culture was already established from the beginning. In the US, also they just, like, how can I say, switched sports. And I
Yeah, yeah.
think here, at least in Germany, I think it's much more of a sports culture that people don't have. It's much more like, oh, kids play football and that's it, right? But yeah, now
Or
we're able.
cycling.
Exactly.
I'm like, but you already cycle everywhere.
And now we're able to actually start bringing the kids to jiu-jitsu as well. We have a lot of also, like, parents that start here and they think, oh, this jiu-jitsu thing is cool, so
Yeah.
I might as well bring my kids.
Good. Yeah.
And this is how it has been working for us at the moment.
Awesome. So not an easy fix. It's not an easy fix, but
No.
I feel your pain, I'm going through it too, but and I really want it to grow. It's and I know I'm a business owner, so I don't want people to just say, oh, he's just trying to do it for registrations. I mean, people ask us why we're good at tournaments, and I tell people it's because we hate tournaments, right? we want to create a good experience for people. My personal experience of tournaments, the referees suck. They take all day long.
Yes.
You, as a coach, I can leave agitated and upset. The overall day kind of upset me.
Mm-hmm.
With AGF, we have a really good vibe. I know you haven't seen us a long time, and we're just starting here, but America, you can see us really growing. It's such an awesome vibe, and we fix some things like we have replay now. That's why I came here this time. I don't know if you know, but we have video cameras, so they're attached to your athlete profile and record your matches. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal, right? So, but also we have a head referee, another referee that will review the video.
That's really
right,
nice.
And then come on to the center of the mat and say, the call still stands, or something like other sports. And we put the tables in the center instead of on the outside, because coaches tend to mess with the brackets when they're on the outside, you know. And gave coaches their own chairs to try and give them their space and their respect as well too. So I think that's what we're trying to do, is trying to improve the sport,
that's great, yeah.
And that's what I'm on a main mission for, trying to improve the sport overall. I'm not just trying to go everywhere, because any tournament can go everywhere. We want to go. I mean, if you look at Naga, right? They've already been to Brazil. They've been to Australia. They've been all over Europe. Like, I know a lot of people talk about this company or that company or IBGF or something like that, but there's certain ones that have already done certain things in the game, and some companies have gone like this, of course, but so there's other companies out there that have already gone everywhere. We want to improve the sport. That's our mission,
That's really nice.
And that's why I asked about the kids for sure. But the adults are super strong here. Like the registrations and the fight, the matches are great, and guys are super respectful. But it's interesting to see the difference. It was interesting to watch you teach Spider Guard as well too. It's just something that I feel isn't taught the same as people from Brazil or the United States, who have a coach over them that really knows that game.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're able to correct grips and correct these kinds of things. And it's funny that you taught that, but you are Brazilian, right? But I typically don't see that done really well in Europe, just because I feel that game, not to sound cheesy, but it's a very Brazilian-oriented game before. It wasn't Americans that made it popular.
Yeah.
It was Michael Lange and guys like that made it famous, And so been watching them and developing that. So I see that the Nogi's strong over here as well too.
It's really strong.
I feel like there's a similar mentality with America and Europe, with some guys just, he gets on top, he gets on top. Like it doesn't have to be a sweep. I hear that mentality a lot. It's a reversal. I got on top. I hear that mentality a lot, and I hear a lot of simplicity in the Nogi and the fight game over here. There's a lot of crossover that way, and I think that there's some similarities, obviously, but then there's some that are different, you know?
Yeah.
So you've been here since, would you say, 16 or 18?
Yeah, we moved here in November 2015. I started teaching here in April 2016.
And with all these guys that are banging Muay Thai and doing MMA stuff, do you go off and coach MMA fights and that kind of stuff too?
So I actually had some contact with MMA, but not really deeply. Also because so the issue is I try to be really focused on the stuff that I do. So for example, you were saying about me teaching Spider, right? Spider is definitely not my game. I mainly play half guard.
Me too.
It is a game that I feel that I could transition really well from gi to no gi, and it works pretty well. But for me, it's very important that people learn everything. So I study a lot of the stuff that I'm going to teach, right? So I study a lot of Spider Guard to be able to bring to people, and I'm very happy to see that some people got really good with it, even though it's not my thing, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that I like a lot. With MMA, I never transitioned to that area because I think it would require also a lot of study that
Focus,
I haven't had the time to do it. So for me, it's like I never want to bullshit anyone. You know, like I know my jujitsu, but I have a really clear idea that in MMA is totally different, right? Sometimes I have self-defense classes here where I'm showing people guard, and I ask them like, just feel how it is to be playing guard with someone slapping on it. You know what I mean? And it changes. Of course, nobody's hurting each other, but it changes the focus a lot.
For sure.
Yeah. So for me to go to this area, I've been focusing so much on growing my team, and the team has grown, become pretty big. I think I would have to stop a little bit and then focus on MMA.
Yeah.
So that's why I never. I got some offers, but I was like, look, right now I cannot support you with what you actually need, right? Because it will require a little bit of studying from my side as well, so I can actually be of some help.
And take your way on certain weekends too to go do that.
That's true.
Yeah. Interesting. So you have a competition team. Do you guys like go far at all? Do you guys go out of country? Do you guys go? Yeah. What were some places you guys have gone?
So we travel every year to Europeans, for example. We have the Europeans. We have the no-gi Europeans. We're gonna go to Rome next month. We've been also to Abu Dhabi to compete at AGF Worlds, for example. Which was actually my first experience with video referees, and I was very happy with that because I mean it's good that people are actually paying attention to this.
Yeah,
you were talking about the referees. I got into a point that I stopped arguing with referees because
it's pointless.
Yeah, it was taking so much of my energy. I always have so many people, lots of people competing. I got to a point that was like I'm not screaming to those people anymore. You know, like. I have so many more people to pay attention to. So it's good to see that people are actually taking the energy to train referees and also review the decisions. But yeah, we've been to, here in Europe, we've been to many, basically everywhere for competitions. And I think the furthest we've been was to Abu Dhabi to compete at AGP Worlds, which is also a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you go with a squad, you know.
Yeah, we always go in a big group. For example, for the Europeans that we went in January to Paris, we were over 20 people there.
Nice. So it was just from Fenris?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And then do you guys also hang out with the Robin Gracie dudes too?
Yeah. Every time. So, for example, there's not a Robin Gracie team in France, but it used to be in Lisbon, right? So I was always going to Gracie Lisboa to train and meeting João, and we're always doing a class there when we was in Lisbon. It was very nice, but yeah, we try to visit other gyms, know other places. I think this is one of the coolest things about jiu-jitsu. This possibility of going to other places, meeting new people, training with other people.
I tell people you're not really into jiu-jitsu until you take your gi with you on vacation.
That's true.
That's when you know you're hooked for sure.
Yeah.
Not just when you're thinking about it in the shower all the time, but when you actually take your gear on vacation and convince the wife who doesn't train that you need to train.
Yeah, right?
For sure. Well, do you have any future plans? Anything coming up for the gym or school or?
So, like I said, we're going to go to No Europeans now in October. So we're putting a lot of energy on this. Right now, I also have to teach a competition class, which is focus on this. And yeah, this is what we have for a plan. We're trying also to get more coaches since the team is going pretty big. We're required to have more people as well. So right now,
Can't be
it's just
everywhere at once.
yeah. So just so we can also keep growing in a healthy way, because I also don't believe in the fact that we like I see a lot of gyms focusing just on bringing more people without and sacrificing quality for this. And yeah, this is something that doesn't make sense. So that's why we're right now trying to improve also the
You guys
coaching,
offer beginner and advanced these types of classes?
yeah, we have. So we try to have a very big range of classes, so everybody can feel welcome. So we have beginners, we have intermediate, we have advanced, we have class just for takedowns, we have
I think I saw that earlier. Yeah.
competition classes, we have gi no gi, also different in different levels. Yeah, we try to kids like we mentioned.
Even as a trained eye, I watched even the girls and the guys that were sparring in the cage earlier, and they were respectful and intelligent.
Yeah.
With the trained eye, I can tell that they were. It wasn't a get one up on you, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that. So I watched a little bit of the wrestling class, like I said, because I got here early, and a guy was doing a treetop single, and the girls are sparring, guys are sparring over there, and just meeting everyone. It was really super good environment, good culture.
Yeah, this is my main goal, actually, to keep a good environment. I think that if you have a good environment, then people can thrive, right, and reach their own personal goals. But this is the main thing for us, is to have a really good vibe.
Nice, for sure. Us too. Well, you have any last words or sponsors or anything like that you want to shout out, or websites, IGs?
Not really. I just want to thank you for coming. I'm really happy to have you guys here. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to your people as well.
For sure.
So, yeah, thank you so much. Really nice to see you again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Brendan.